Welcome to the Ranger Wrap Up Live. We are back. Jezer celebrated his birthday last week. How you doing, buddy? How old are you now? Are you
32.
32 years young. 32. Wow, that's loud. That's probably on my end there. Sorry about that, guys. Hold on.
32. Before you guys say
Bam.
anything, so everybody in the chat, we are doing the giveaway, the 1K giveaway today. All you have to do is comment, not in the live chat, but comment on the video, and then I'll run a little comment picker, and then the person wins the blue Beast Morphers figure.
There you go. There's a little bit of a contest going on. That's fun. How you guys been? How you guys doing?
Good.
So I got a fun story to tell you guys. Corey, how are you? You're in here too. You don't say anything.
Yeah, I'm fine. Nothing new. Same old, same old.
We're having a heat wave here in California, but thank you guys so much for joining us on your lovely Saturday afternoon, evening, night, whatever it may be. But I do have a fun story to tell you. So Josh and Daniel, as you know, they do our retro show. They're currently doing Power Rangers Lost Galaxy right now. And for the most part, they're enjoying Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Obviously, they have issues with it. So we were at Josh's new place just a couple nights ago. And we were just talking, watching old stuff, just having a conversation. And then randomly, we were watching this show called, I think it was called like Space Patrol or something. But regardless, it doesn't really matter what that show is called. What matters is that we compared that show with any of the best Power Rangers opening premieres ever. So I said, you know what? Let me put on RPM. So we watched the first episode of RPM together, all three of us. And they were blown away to the point where it was like it didn't feel like a Power Ranger episode at all. And even now, I mean, towards the end a little bit, but even now, for the beginning of that episode, all the way towards like the first two acts of that episode, don't feel like a Power Ranger episode. And then they instantly were like sold on it as just like a sci-fi show.
I have a question. So they're not enjoying Lost Galaxy?
No, they like it, but it still feels like Power Rangers. You know, it still feels like very formulaic, but it's still good. I mean, it's good. But with RPM, it's just such a departure from what they had been getting that it felt completely fresh and new. And it just goes to show what Power Rangers can be. It really can be something spectacular and special. But the reason we're talking about that is because we're trying to show you guys what Power Rangers can be. So Hasbro did their first Power Ranger Fan First Friday, which just happened yesterday. And there's a lot of internet chatter about it, whether people liked it, whether people didn't like it. There's a lot going on, and we're gonna share our opinions. And mind you, before we even start anything, because I know the way things can get, these are just our opinions on this. And I'm sure everybody's entitled to their own opinions. There are some positive things about this, but there's some negative things about this. And we're going to talk about the positives, the negatives we think Hasbro can include as a brand. But let's kick it off. First and foremost, before we get into anything, in the chat, I want to ask you guys directly, what were some of the announcements that you wanted to see from Fan First Friday? What did you speculate on? I know that there were rumors that obviously we were going to get the Wave 6. There are rumors that we were going to see the Evo 2 of Draken. There are rumors that we were going to see stuff that hasn't been revealed yet because there's these 2 packs that I believe they're the action packs is what they're being called. I believe there's some of that stuff that hasn't been announced, and even to the point where people were even expecting them to say something about the Dino Fury cast. So out of curiosity, I'm curious what you guys in the chat thought was going to be announced, but also what did you guys think, Corey and Jezer? What did you guys think was going to be announced during Fan First Friday?
Corey, let's let you start because usually you're a very quiet person. So, and I know you listen. You set the tone right now. You guide this because when you messaged me, you said, "Yeah, I have a lot to talk about." So if you're gonna start talking and it's gonna be like just like meh, I'm gonna cut you off. So go ahead, you start.
You just dropped me from the string.
Cutting you off. You gotta come in. You gotta come in with some fire, bro. Come on, let's do it.
I'm not gonna be like all antagonistic. You know what I mean? But I mean, it was spoiled already. You get what I mean? So I wasn't excited. But then the other stuff we didn't know about, I was just like, you giving us this shit again?
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it's, I don't understand. I gotta form my thoughts. You guys go ahead.
Okay, let me start off by saying
I love that Corey said he had to form his thoughts, and in the group chat, he's like, "I have so many thoughts on this."
No, I'm trying to.
Okay.
I'm trying to
it,
figure out
it
how
takes him a little bit to kind of warm up. I would say that we got ripped off. You know why we got ripped off? Because basically we just got.
Wait, that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you first. What did you expect from Fan
what
First
did I
Friday?
expect?
Oh, what did I expect?
Oh, Wave 6.
Nothing.
I expected Wave 6. I expected Dino Thunder. I expected Draken. And I expected, like, something new. Something that we didn't see. Something that they kept under wraps. But no, we didn't get any of that.
So Jezer, just to clarify, Draken, Wave 6, something we haven't seen,
And Dino Thunder.
and Dino Thunder. You like and those were all good options because I was actually very close to the same line of thinking as you.
Yeah, at least one figure that we weren't expecting, you know, or something.
They didn't even reveal the freaking Green Ranger.
Huh?
So
Green Ranger that was spoiled. Remember?
It might be part of the next wave.
just to ask you, what were you expecting from this announcement, Fan First Friday? Like, it had a lot of fans really hyped.
Corey.
Me?
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, like I said, I wasn't expecting too much because I know Power Rangers hasn't excited me with an announcement in a good long time. And when they do, it's really unexpected. So the Fan First Friday, looky here, and I'm like, okay, we'll see. So I don't ever get hyped.
All right, so Winning Image wanted to hear about the last two Beast Morphers Lightning Collection figures.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce, who's a part of our team here at the Illuminerdi, was really disappointed that Power Rangers Dino Super Fury wasn't announced. Flash said, I don't know why I thought we would get some Dino Fury news, but I feel like a lot of people wanted Dino Fury news. Thomas Franco says, we know that Dino Fury is going to start filming in October. That's according to Variety. Austin Gant says there was no Dino Fury news. It seems like a lot of you guys really wanted Dino Fury stuff for this Fan First Friday.
Can I say, because around this time, we usually get the cast announcement, you know, at Power Morphicon or whatever. I know Power Morphicon hasn't happened yet this year, but usually the past Power Morphicons would be in August, and I saw a lot of memories from my friends that had the picture of Yoshi and Peter hugging when they announced Ninja Steel. So I guess maybe that this would have been the perfect platform for them to announce that. But we do have, what is it, the Power Ranger, like the National Power Rangers Day coming up. So that might be something that they're banking on, and maybe they're holding all the surprises for then. I don't know.
Yeah, it says like most people were really expecting some Dino Fury stuff. So I feel like maybe that was a little bit of a letdown. Jezer, that's a great point. By the way, I'm gonna tease something here a little bit. Jezer knows what's going on. Corey might not, but what are your guys' plans for the dates that Power Morphicon was supposed to be?
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a busy day, though. I feel like it's going to be.
I do too. I think that we might have something brewing for the dates that Power Morphicon was supposed to be. So anybody that's watching, any Ranger, any fan of Ranger Nation, we're going to offer you a save the date. Save the date for those dates, because we are cooking up something, I think, pretty cool for those days. So we'll have more on that maybe next week, but just save the date. And I'll reiterate that again, is just, you know, I think we're all missing Power Morphicon, and I think that there should be something to do about that. Anyway, back to this. I think you're right, Jezer. I think there's a little bit of that anticipation for what we would normally get around this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that somehow that got lost. Now, Jezer, I didn't mean to cut you off earlier, but now we want to go into what we got. So we saw what you guys in the chat were kind of expecting. Now I want to talk about what we did get. Jezer, you talked about this being a letdown. How so, my friend?
Okay, so realistically, this is Joe's word, we got one new figure, I think, or 1.5 new figures. Let me break it down for you. So the Black Ranger figure, just a repaint, and the helmet is still the same, and they added the dreads or whatever, but it's pretty. It's pretty much just a repaint. Yeah. Goldar, pretty much just a repaint. Zeo Ranger repaint from the Zeo Blue, and the only newest one that we got was the Yellow Space. That's the only new figure that we got from top to bottom, where it's a brand new mold for this figure, because we haven't had a space figure yet, and that's the only brand new one. which is super disappointing. I mean, if you were to break it down, maybe you guys would consider all the head sculpts new. Yes, all the head sculpts are new. Tommy's head sculpt is new. A little modification to Zach's, but basically we got 1.5 new figures out of this new wave. So it's super disappointing. And the way that they had this whole presentation and did all this, it seemed like it was something bigger, but it wasn't. And that's just disappointing. That's just really disappointing.
Corey, you've been very quiet collecting your thoughts. I've given you about 25 minutes. Collected enough of your thoughts.
All right. First, I don't have beef with Zach because I didn't want the Dragon Shield Zach. I wanted a regular Zach. I don't care about what his human head looks like because I don't use those. So I'm like, cool. Oh, the Power Axe turns to the Cosmic Cannon. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. All right, so I'm cool with
that's
Zach.
That's nothing new. We've had it the past few.
Yeah, but I'm sharing my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let me share my thoughts, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead. You're right. You're correct.
Okay, so Zeo Ranger 5, I didn't want to start any Zeo until I got someone that wasn't Rocky. So no beef. I just got beef that they called the Zeo 5 Power Sword the Star Saber. I'm like, aren't you guys like...
Well, the better way to do this is we probably should have done these figures one by one.
Yeah.
I think Jezzer ran through the whole line.
My bad.
But that was a brief description. But no, it's okay. It's okay. We could save it. We could pull it back.
All
so
right. I'm getting there. I'm getting to the beef.
Let's start with Corey. Let's start with the Zach figure and kind of like talk about it in depth because this is one of the big ones. This completes our collection of Mighty Morphin Wave 1. Or sorry, not Wave 1. Mighty Morphin's original team. Jezzer, we'll get to you in a little bit more to say about Zach. So your biggest complaint with Zach, I mean, it doesn't seem, Corey, like you have a lot of complaints about the Zach figure.
No, I don't. Because I wanted the Zach figure without the shield. So like, hey, I got it.
And then Jezzer, for you with the Zach figure, I know that you complained about it's nothing new, but in terms of the actual figure, are you okay with it?
The mold and everything?
Yeah, like just the figure by itself.
Yeah, I mean we've already seen it multiple times, so I mean there's nothing other than the head mold, there's nothing new about it. So I mean, I wasn't disappointed with it before, so I'm not really I'm just disappointed that it was just a rehash.
Yeah, so Jezzer, during the course of this week, him and I were going back and forth about the Zach, or about the Black Ranger figure, we should say. And Jezzer said, well, it would be better if they would have just put Adam's head with it, with Zach, and given you something a little bit different. And I do agree with that. But jokingly, I texted him and I said, hey, I bet you it's Zach's head with the dreads.
Yeah.
And like, literally, the next day, it was Zach's head with the dreads.
And
it's like
this is the
head.
thing. So Joe tried to make have a bet about it, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that because I know how Hasbro is. I know what they're gonna do. But here's the thing. So if you're gonna go ahead and make a brand new sculpt for, I don't know, thousands of figures, then why not just make an Adam one? Like why? Like why did you do that?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that at all. The only thing that I think about Zach now too is that technically, unless they do a full-on civilian closed Zach, there's only really more Zach figures you can do conceivably. Well, technically maybe 3 if you do one from the coinless. But like they could do the Pink Ranger Zach costume that appeared in the Boom Studios, and you have the Omega Ranger Zach. And then after that, like Zach is pretty much done. Like I'm sure he'll be released later with other lines, just as filler, just like the Star Wars Black Series does. But for the most part, Zach's pretty much done. You don't need any more Zachs, with the exception of a couple, right?
Yeah.
Like you definitely don't need the human head Zach anymore.
No, we don't need.
You have,
and it's kind of nice. Oh, well, I'll get it to it when we talk about that one. Go ahead.
Okay, so we got our opinions on Zach. I would love for you guys in the chat to chime in. What do you guys think of MMPR Black? What were some of your complaints? What do you think could have been done better?
Yeah.
I do think.
There's a bunch of people here in the chat. Like I said earlier in the show, we're doing the 1K giveaway. In order for you to enter it or to qualify for it, comment on this video. Don't comment. You can keep commenting in the chat, but leave a comment in the actual video so we can choose active members within our subscribers to give this giveaway to.
So let's move on to our next figure. And I mean, I think we should talk about Goldar because it's one of the other releases that we've already had.
That's where my beef is at.
I want to talk to Jezzer first about Goldar and the reason why is because Goldar was such a hot item from the GameStop era that the whole mess up with the shipping was an issue. The gold was off. Now we have a different Goldar, and I want to get your opinions, Jezer.
Goldar. Okay.
Well, I wouldn't say different, but you know what I mean.
I think that was such a cop out. Like when they had the little code decipher things on Twitter, I was hoping, since we are getting that Beast Morphers crossover, that we would be getting that Neo Gryphosaur, that new Goldar. But
Goldar Maximus.
Yeah, but Hasbro taking more shortcuts and just making like little wing attachments on the back. It's like, dude, come on, that's just terrible. So no, that was probably the biggest disappointment I got with this line.
Before we get into your opinions, Corey, I want to catch everybody up to what the chat was saying about Zach. Kevin Empley says, trash figure, but needed to complete my set. We got the winning image. Says, Zach looks cool. Just finally glad we got an MMPR is almost wrapped up figure-wise. And then Robert Amaya says, I'm glad we got MMPR Black without the shield. So for the most part, people were mixed about that Zach figure, but it's in the line, and it's not our biggest complaint. So right now, Corey, what do you got about Goldar?
All right, so I'm hyped that because I prefer my Goldar without wings, so I'm cool that they have the closed wings attachments on the back. But the thing is that I noticed is that they mentioned that they put a new paint wash on it, and the original Goldar has it, but it's lighter. So I'm thinking, maybe they some figures are missing paint because of budget reasons, and so you would think, Goldar has these big ass wings, and he also has to wash. They released the second Goldar figure with no wings, and he still has to wash. So it's like, why are the figures missing paint? Such as Dino Thunder White. You get what I mean? So I don't understand. I don't get it. Outside of, like, I'm cool with Goldar, just because I want mine without wings. But at the same time, it's also showing there's someone's not doing a job on that side when it's coming to the paint quality.
So Corey, you couldn't have just taken the wings off of the other Goldar figure and called it a day?
Yeah, that's how I have it. But I just wanted, like I said, I wanted the closed wings, the design little nubs on the back. I want it accurate. Goddamn it!
Because that's the one thing that we're all displaying is the backs of our figures. So I'm curious. Most of you guys in the chat have your opinions on Goldar. Here's my take on this. I think honestly putting Goldar into this line was lazy. I think that they already Goldar didn't sell very well when it first came out at GameStop, to the point where it was being sold for like $5. So I have a feeling that this Goldar is going to be the peg warmer of peg warmers. Like, if you guys think that Ravi was a peg warmer, wait until you get Goldar.
Oh, I've never heard that term before, peg warmer. That's awesome.
Peg warmer. They just sit there and they warm their peg to keep it warm.
Yeah, I honestly do think that Goldar is going to be a peg warmer, and I think that it's going to be one of these things where, I mean, as much as they try, and I appreciate the effort that they put in, but I do feel like that was a lazy choice. They gave us Goldar once, and I felt like if they're going to give us Goldar, at least, and this is credit to you, Jezer, at least give us something really cool in this line. Yeah. And I don't think anything wowed me in this line. And I'm like, normally I would say, and we'll go on to our next figure in a second, normally I would say, well, at least we got the in-space Yellow Ranger, but there's some issues I have with that as well. I want to hear from the chat. I want to hear from the chat next about what you guys think about the Yellow Ranger, the Space Yellow Ranger Ashley. But before we do that, I'm going to read some of your comments about Goldar. Now, Austin Gant says they should use Goldar from the team up, which is what Jezer and Toku Chris said. Toku Kid says if they made a new Goldar with no wings, bet they would make the Putty Rangers with gray boots and gloves. That's probably true. Blackwing says detachable wings should have been an option. Also, great choice. The only thing with that, I do think that would have definitely put this wave over budget, but I don't know, man. It feels like they probably saved a lot on this wave, no?
Yeah, I don't understand. Why are they releasing a figure twice and then giving it new accessories? Why can't they just give all the accessories in the figure and leave that lightning whatever effect crap out? I'd rather have accessories.
I think that's the budgetary thing.
I mean, and also give me new freaking hands. I'm tired of the same hands. This shit. I'm sorry, give me some new hands.
So for the most part, I mean, we can all pretty much accept that nobody really wanted Goldar in this line.
No Goldar.
So I think that's a huge misstep there. I think, especially, and you guys are right. This early on with these Lightning Collection waves, we're already starting to recycle figures. Now, I'm not sure about the history of like the Black Series that Star Wars has, or the Marvel Legends when they started redoing figures, but for me, it just seems that this comes a little bit early on in the line. Now, let's move on to Tracy Lynn Cruz's action figure, the Yellow Space Ranger from Power Rangers in Space. Corey, what's your hot take on this one?
I don't like the female bodies on the Lightning Collection.
He doesn't like female bodies.
It looks, female bodies on action figures are always weird, and the human head is just not Ashley.
I've seen angles where it looks okay.
I mean, it looks like her, but it looks like a poor drawing of her.
Yeah, so they did mention that this was a like a sculpt, like a head sculpt, not necessarily a scan that we've seen with some of these more modern actors. I shouldn't say modern actors, but some of these more recent Power Rangers. It's this one was a sculpt, so somebody sculpted the head off of a promo image. More than likely, it seemed like the image of when she's smiling in the intro of Power Rangers in Space. It seems like that was the base image for this. But what do you guys think? You guys, I mean, Corey, you don't really like the female bodies of. I mean, you actually sound like the target market for this Lightning Collection, by the way. But you don't like the female figures, is what you're saying? I
want female figures, but they always.
But you don't want to buy them, is what you're saying.
No, I have Rangers.
He doesn't like females.
Is that they put the feet are so small on the female figures that they don't stand correctly.
I mean, because females do have smaller feet than males. I mean, that's
No, I mean, I know some females got feet big as I do, so that's just.
Are they taller than you though?
Huh?
Are they taller than you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right then.
Really, are as tall as me.
So we're talking proportion here, and I think that like with somebody like Tracy Lynn, look, I think that I'm happy that we're getting the Power Rangers in Space Yellow Ranger figure because I love Tracy Lynn Cruz. A lot of people know this. She was one of my first crushes. I love Tracy Lynn Cruz, and I'm glad she's getting a figure. She actually just tagged us in her post about this. But I wish that, honestly, you know what it feels like to me, the head sculpt? It feels like what they did with, like, Billy, the Blue Ranger, like in MMPR. Like, it feels very, like, off. You know, like the head sculpt feels very off to me. Or even almost to the point where it's like Rocky
Oh my God,
and
Rocky
Zeo.
was fucking disgusting.
Right? Like, it doesn't feel like Tracy to me. It doesn't look like Tracy to me.
Mm.
So that's my opinion. Jezzer, what's your opinion on this one?
The figure, like, if you just get rid of the head mold, looks great. I think that it looks, you know, it's what the helmet is great. It's what we needed. Space is one of my favorite seasons, and for them to start with that, with the Yellow Ranger is amazing because they could have easily did the cop out thing and went with Andros first, but the choice of choosing Ashley out of all the other Space Rangers was a bold choice for them, and it's great.
Kevin Epley says, I had to grab Ashley, knew she would sell out, but that head sculpt, yikes. Edward Sanchez says, I'm just happy that we're finally getting a Space Ranger figure.
Yeah.
Jose says they should keep making all the Ranger mouths closed because the smiles make them look creepy. That's definitely something I've been seeing a lot in the fandom about these head sculpts. Morphin Network says, In Space Yellow head sculpt could have been better. Oh, well. Let's see. We got the Blurry says, I have an issue with Ashley's creepy smile in design. Robert Amaya says, happy to see Space Ranger, but Ashley's face is weird. I know they're trying. Let's see. We got a lot of this about her head sculpt. So I couldn't agree more. I feel like these kind of like fake, like these fake smiles on some of these Lightning Collection figures, they do feel a bit creepy. We got this with the Billy figure. in the last line. So that's my biggest complaint. Everything else on that figure, I think, looks pretty good, though. And I'm happy that we got Ashley. So let's move on. What's that?
Hold on. Like, all right, let's say if they get, how would you want their facial expressions to be when they don't have the helmet on? It's for like an action figure line. You get what I mean?
Do you have the 2-pack of do you have the 2-pack Gold Ranger, Red Ranger figure?
Mm-hmm.
You know how Jason's smiling in one picture and in one head sculpt, the other one he's not?
Yeah.
The other one that he's not, I actually like that head sculpt more. If you look at Tommy's head sculpt too, in the White Ranger figure, same thing. I think that they capture those figures' likenesses a lot better than they did when they have these big giant smiles. I mean, I just think they look better that way. I mean, some of these head sculpts, just regardless, like the Brennan Mejia one seems a little bit off to me, and obviously the Steve Cardenas one really does as well. So I know that they're trying their best, but I feel that like they missed the mark a little bit on some of those head sculpts.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I want to talk to you guys about our final figure in the line, Zeo Ranger 5 Red, Tommy. Now, this is our third Tommy figure in the Lightning Collection.
Let's see. Green?
Fourth? Yeah, we got Draken.
Oh, that's right, Draken. I completely forgot about Draken. So
we have 2 Drakens now, so this would be 5.
Well, technically, we only have 1 Draken. It wasn't announced on Fan First Friday, so we do know that Art Deco Draken is coming. I'm actually shocked that they didn't say anything about Evo 3 Draken because they announced it themselves, and I find that very fascinating. They didn't even address that Draken. But yeah, what did you guys think of Zeo Ranger 5?
Corey?
I got no beef with it. One of the accessories, the Zeo blade, it's like the long extended version. So when you put it in the holster, you just got this long ass sword hanging from his side instead of them putting in the condensed version. So that's the only beef I got with it. And the fact that I called it the freaking Star Saber, I was mad.
What do you got, Jezzer? What do you got about this figure?
Nothing really. I think the figure looks great. I'm not really too nitpicky about sizes of figures or of accessories. The only thing that I had a problem with was the head mold didn't like the hairstyle. I understand, but the head mold didn't really look like Jason David Frank.
Yeah, so I'm on board with you on that one, Jezzer. Here's my problem. I think that I love Zeo Ranger 5. I love the suit. I love the aesthetic. I think overall the suit looks great. With that being said, I think that the head sculpt does not look like Tommy. Matter of fact, I would go as far to say it looks a lot more like David Trueheart than it does Tommy.
Yeah.
It really does. It looks a lot more like David Trueheart. I like the hair design because that feels very classic when Tommy was going through his Native American storyline about his brother. I love that. I love his hairstyle in that. And also very reminiscent of that SH figure art. I believe it's the White Ranger. I think that they released. But for me, the head sculpt seems off. The Green Ranger, White Ranger figure that they did as a sculpt back in the earlier lines looks a lot better. But yeah, man, that head
it kind of looks like. It kind of looks like John Travolta from Pulp Fiction.
Pulp Fiction, yeah,
or John Travolta from Swordfish.
It just seems a little off. Now, overall, though, I do like. I mean, hell, I might just put on that White Ranger head instead of that one. Yeah. When I get that figure, but that's where we are with Lightning Collection Wave 6. Surprisingly enough, Fan First Friday, they took a few fan questions, but that's all they had. No Evo 3, nothing from Dino Fury, nothing. I was definitely a little surprised we didn't get any announcements about any product that we hadn't already known about. So, would you guys say Fan First Friday was a success in terms of Power Rangers?
No.
Yeah, a little bit of a disappointment. I have to agree with you guys there.
You want to know what would have made it like even more fun and more interactive or kind of cool is, let's say they reach out to an ambassador within the Power Ranger community, like Austin St. John or something, and have him be on the call. It's something so easy that they could have done, especially with Zoom, and them being Hasbro. It's something like that could have been fun for them to do. Like maybe even reach out to each of these individual actors that have portray this figure and get their take on it. But
Yeah. I mean, I don't disagree with you. I feel like there was something definitely missing in that presentation, and there was a lot of hype surrounding it. And I felt like, and I don't know if it was because we as fans got carried away with what they could be announcing, but man, I felt like if you were really going to wow us, that was not the way to do it. By giving us all the information we already had, that was not the way to wow that fan base. Now, I hope that there are more Fan First Fridays down the line. I really do for Power Rangers. I just hope that there's more thought and consideration taken into them. Now,
but I got a question. So how, because sometimes they just do announcements and it's like, oh, hey, this shit is coming out. And then they're doing these Fan First Fridays. So how would you want them to announce figures? Just announce them like they usually do, or have the Fridays be like an event?
Well, it depends on what your goal is, right? I mean, having the Fridays be an event is not a bad idea, because right now in Power Rangers, what else is an event?
Nothing.
Like, right. So like what I mean, there's not really much to look forward to. And some of the stuff just felt like, I don't know. I felt like it was weird that Hasbro would kind of like it almost felt like they were really trying to push the narrative of what they wanted in this Fan First Friday. For example, let's be honest, just as fans, most fans have already seen these episodes air. I almost wish they would have just addressed it. Like, they should have just said, like, hey, we know that a lot of you guys have already seen Beast Morphers, but for those of you that haven't, like, this is what's to come, blah, 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 blah. But I felt that, like, by just being like, Beast Morphers comes back very soon, and we have this, and it's going to tie into this, and it's like, yeah, like, doesn't Beast Morphers feel like it's already over for everybody?
Yes. Yeah, we are over.
So I feel like now more people are like, all right, what's the thing? Let's move on from it. What's the next thing? So I don't know. I just wish that they would have addressed a lot more in this stream. Yes. Heirloom's in the chat, and he says they need to make sure they don't leak images before it. And I agree. Like, these images got leaked right before Fan First Friday, and that's another problem with what's going on.
Well, also, their coordination with online websites or whatever with releasing the little placeholder links. So I mean, the Power Ranger fans have gotten really good at deciphering it. So maybe keeping control of that too will help control our expectations.
There's no way this should have leaked. For example, just on a media side, like when we know, for example, I know for a fact that there's a Marvel movie that's going to be coming out very soon, right? I know that when there's a trailer that's coming out, like, a studio will give us the trailer right after they premiere it, being like, hey, here's your synopsis, here's the trailer, you know what I mean? Here's the messaging, and here it is for your website. So you can put the trailer up. I don't know why they would have sent this out ahead of time for it to get leaked, but it doesn't make any sense. They should have just done Fan First Friday and then sent out PR stuff to, and that's another thing. They don't send press release stuff out anymore to anybody. So they just send it to these toy companies. Toy companies are not they're not news outlets or media outlets, so they don't know how to handle that information. They just ingest it and put it up. This is a lot easier of a way to get leaked. I can't believe Hasbro hasn't figured this out yet, especially since they do have bigger franchises under their belt. If they're trying to get into the movie game, they got to realize you can't be doing stuff like that. And they didn't even mention, like you said, Jezer, Dino Thunder, or even the Chase figure that's in stores right now.
Yep.
Like,
still looking for it.
That's a huge problem. Like, that's a problem. They're not addressing anything for the community. So with all that added up, I feel like they took some fan questions and they were very softball questions, and they still couldn't give straight answers to a lot of these questions. So in this segment of what we're going to do is we're going to take some of these fan questions and see what we think some of the answers are. Listen, we're not Hasbro representatives, and these are all speculations, guesses, or maybe even answers that we want. But regardless, it's our show, so we can do that. In the chat, we want to get your responses to some of these fan questions too. But we're going to address these one by one. Let's hit them with the fan questions that they lowballed us on Fan First Friday.
Question 1. Will you open for fan polls so we can have a fan vote figure?
All right. Will we open for fan polls? Corey, you're a toy collector. Do you think that Hasbro will open for fan polls for figures? Now, we know that they're doing this in the Marvel Legends line, and I believe they're doing this in the Star Wars Black Series line. Only a matter of time until it happens in Power Rangers, but do you think it is going to happen anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, they do it in Transformers too. So I figure, like, hey, which Rangers do you want to see? And if they got, like, like, I know they don't want to jump the gun and, like, mold something that they don't have already done already. But, like, let's say if they give you 5 Rangers to choose from, choose one of the 5 who you want to be in the next line, then that's what I see more of happening.
Yes, I mean, their answer to this was pretty straightforward. They just said, stay tuned. So essentially the answer to this is yes. I feel that, like, we are definitely going to end up getting these fan polls with the figures, if the figures can stay as popular as we want them to be. Jezzer, what's your take on this one? It's a pretty easy question.
I think that if they were to do this, they would already have planned out which one. So it'd be like, realistically, they'd have 3 figures that they'd plan out, and it would be from teams that they've already done, just so financially it's just easier for them to do. It's kind of like it's already set up, and even if they did fan poll of it, they'd probably be in control of the outcome. It's kind of like when what is it, DC Comics back in the day had you choose, do you want to kill Jason Todd or do you want him to live or whatever. They already knew the outcome of it, and then they just kind of controlled the narrative. I think that's what they're going to do if they were to do a poll figure, is control a good amount of the outcome and kind of like push you towards the figure that they already know that they're going to make.
Now, if they take more of a chance like they're doing with the Marvel Legends line, I think we can get some pretty unique figures. If this line really starts to continue and flourish, I think it could open up the doors for a lot of Rangers. For example, I will almost, I don't know, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to take the opposite stance of Jezzer here on this one, just to be controversial. I'm going to go ahead and say that I think, personally, that they will have these fan polls for Ranger figures, and I do think they're going to be figures that you wouldn't normally expect to be in the line. For example, I can easily see one of these figures being the Phantom Ranger.
That's what I want.
I can easily see some of these more kind of like Rangers that are on the fringe a little bit to be in this fan poll vote, because if the fans are controlling it, I can see that happening. I don't know, maybe, who knows, maybe even one of the Alien Rangers, you know what I mean? Like something that's just different that you normally wouldn't get. I can see that happening in this line. A Boom Studios figure, maybe one of these Solar Rangers. So I can definitely see that happening, the fan poll. So that's the first thing. I think that's an easy question, and I think that's going to happen. Let's move on to our second question, because we know that one's a pretty easy.
Okay, the second question is, MMPR is a great season, but we have seen a ton of product for it. Are you guys going to move on from the MMPR ever?
Now, let me give you what their answer was, and then we'll give our own answer. Their answer was this. Yes and no. MMPR is still important to the brand and canon, but they recognize other seasons. So let's really talk about this one. Essentially, the answer for this should have been MMPR is going to be shoved down your throats because it sells very well. We need it in other lines to sell more merchandise. I don't understand why this one, I don't know why they couldn't have just said, like, listen, MMPR is important. We need it to sell toys. It is the highest selling thing we have, and that's really our gateway to sell more Power Ranger action figures. What do you guys think about this question?
Corey?
What?
I was going to say for you to go.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to make jokes and say Mighty Morphin is the best, so deal with it.
He says it's a joke, but he's serious. He is.
Well, look, I mean, look.
Serious.
Mighty Morphin outsells everything else because it's the most popular line. They try their best to do different eras. It just doesn't sell as well as Mighty Morphin, and that's the honest truth. I don't think that there's a reason why they needed to back away from that, and it's simple fact. Mighty Morphin does sell the best. It is their most successful line.
In a business sense, this term always comes to mind for franchises like this, and it all boils down to recognition, franchise recognition, or brand recognition. When you think of Power Rangers, you automatically associate it with the red MMPR Ranger helmet, and that's it. When you think of Disneyland, Mickey ears, McDonald's, the M. It's all about brand recognition, and from a business standpoint, that is smart, and that it's the safe way to go, especially when you're handling a IP that you just acquired and you want to make up the money that you put into it. So pretty much what they should have said and told the people the truth is, yes, we're going to keep going with MMPR and drive it into the ground until we make our money's worth off of it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't have anything making money off of MMPR because I think that it's used in a way to introduce people to collecting other figures from the brand and other figures from the franchise. I don't have a problem with that, and I understand why they do it because the truth is, like, it sells well. It just really does. So I get that, and that's fine. I just wish that there was a more straightforward answer to that in terms of like, hey, it sells well, it does really well. If people wanted more figures, buy more figures. It's more of a gateway to get people to buy more figures anyway. So I wish that they would move on from Mighty Morphin, but truth be told, they need to make the other lines more viable, and I'm okay with that. So I get it. I get why it's there. Let's move on to our next question. By the way, let me take some of you guys' chat. Let's move along to chat. Jezzer, what are some of the folks talking about in there?
Let's see. Robert Maya says, I would chosen Delphine for the first Alien Ranger Lightning Collection. Thomas Franco says, do you think they will have Lightning Collection of every morpher of other seasons since they made the MMPR Power Morpher? What do you guys think about that? I think no.
I think it's a big stretch. I think that you gotta make sure that they sell enough of those morphers for MMPR first before you move on to anything else. And then even after that, what do you think the second most popular morpher is that they would even put out?
The Dragon Tommy's morpher, and then a Zeonizer.
I mean, outside of MMPR, like which one? The Zeonizer, you think?
Yeah, and then it'll probably be an Astro Morpher.
Oh yeah, Astro Morpher next, yeah.
So let's move on to our next question. The question is, how do you choose Power Ranger seasons for the Lightning Collection? Answer was, let's see. They try to link releases together, forming teams and recreating unique moments from the show. That answer actually doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm going to tell you why. So they link releases together to form teams and recreating unique moments of the show. What does that even mean? So go ahead, Corey.
I guess they're referring to the 2-packs.
Are they? Because we didn't get any reveals on 2-packs, so why would that... That doesn't make any sense.
I mean, the 2-packs are usually based on a moment from the show.
Yeah, but the question here is, how do you choose Power Rangers seasons for the Lightning Collection? Not for the 2-packs, not for anything, but how do they choose the seasons? And talking about moments, all right, let's even talk about the 2-packs and moments from the show. Why was a putty included in Fighting Spirit Green Ranger?
Well, I mean, that one's a little weird, but then season 1, Tommy was always getting his ass kicked by putties.
But why was it called it's literally called the Fighting Spirit 2-pack, though?
Yeah, I don't know why they used the Fighting Spirit Green Ranger, though. But, I mean, as opposed to Tommy and putties, Tommy was always getting beat by putties. That's why he was never around.
Again, that's to fit the narrative of putting that together. But then why not just make regular Tommy?
Yeah, I don't know why they did that. I can tell you.
To me, it feels like this is a canned answer, but it's not an accurate one because it doesn't. I don't understand how some of this is put together either. Because how does Black Ranger Zach, Red Ranger Tommy, Yellow Ranger Ashley, and Goldar all connect?
They don't. Like, not at all. Like, no.
I really don't understand their answer for that, but
do you want to hear what they really wanted to say?
Yeah.
What they really wanted to say is, we went with the first wave. Based off the first wave, we created figures that we had the molds for that. Based off that, we went on and on from there. So if you look at the waves are all the waves are all connected to each other, and that's how they're choosing their line. So That's it. That's plain. Yeah, that's the answer.
What was the marketing guy's name who was a carryover from Saban?
Marketing guy's name.
He worked with Melissa.
Jason?
Yes. Yeah, he answered this question better at Power Morphicon. I don't remember what he said, but it was more along the lines of having a more diversity within the wave, as opposed to just going in order like Bandai was doing.
Yeah, no, that all makes sense to me. It just doesn't, that answer that was given just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Let's move on to our next question.
Okay, let me see. Question 4. Where is it? Hold on. Let's go to question 5.
Question. I know question 4. I can just say
All right,
it
go ahead,
if you.
go ahead.
Can we get more full team packs? Now we got the we got the Psycho Rangers team pack. Can we get more team packs? Now their answer was they'll try to, but they need to make sense at a price point and selling point. That makes sense from a business standpoint. Like they need to justify the cost of putting it together and actually selling
Yes.
it.
Can I take? Oh, go ahead, Corey. I know you have a lot.
It's real quick. What's the point of Hasbro posts? You can do exclusives and put the 5-packs on there. I don't see why they make a big deal about doing 5-packs, because they know people would buy it if it was on post as an exclusive. So I don't see why it's a big deal.
But I feel like the thing that we're overlooking, that is there a projection for that? Like if they're going to package and put together all these 5-packs, are we sure that people are going to buy them and it's going to be successful financially?
Here.
Well, that's my point, right?
Here's the thing.
You can't just Corey. You can't just be like, hey, let's make a Zeo Ranger 5-pack. What if it doesn't sell? It doesn't matter. They'll just buy it anyway.
No, but I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I mean, how's the Psycho Ranger one doing on freaking Amazon? You know?
Yeah, no, I don't disagree.
I mean, if they're gonna do it, I would have tested the waters on post. I would have done the Mighty Morphin 5-pack, and they would have blown the shit out the water.
But look, that's exactly what their answer is that, hey, we're going to try to, but it has to make sense from a price point standpoint and a selling standpoint. I think that they answered that question fairly well from a business side of it.
I have how they came up with it. First off, this 5-pack that we got is going to be the first and maybe the last one that they're going to do. Just if you're looking at the landscape of the Ranger teams, for the reason why is from a business standpoint, from production, from the production side of it, you already have these figures out there. You already have all these figures in the market. You're just putting them. You're just, apart from the female ones, you're just putting them in a box and are repainting some of them in the sense with the black one. So they're not losing any money from there because they already have the molds. They already have they might even have, a surplus of blues or reds from whatever packages that they put out before. So, and one of the reasons why they went with this team is the only accessory you really needed to add were the different hands and a weapon. Versus if they were to do a full team pack with another team, you'd also have to calculate the cost for having each mold made for each of those team members. So if they're gonna do another team pack, it would be characters that don't have identities, or characters that all the molds are exactly the same. That's how they're gonna do it. When they said from a financial standpoint, that's what they're saying. They're saying that it doesn't. The return on making a set like this for $99 is a gamble, especially if you have to go outside of the box and make extra stuff for it.
Yeah, like I can almost see a team pack coming from MMPR, because that wave is already completed and essentially leftover figures. I can also see them doing an MMPR thing where they include different head sculpts with Rocky, Adam, and Aisha in order for you to buy those head sculpts. And honestly, one that I can see them doing too is, and I can actually see this happening. One suggestion that Morphin Network, who's in the chat, mentioned was Squad A. That's a good suggestion, actually. But
those pads are ugly as fuck.
The other thing that I was thinking is, if they started releasing some of the Alien Rangers in separate lines, I can see them doing this with the Alien Rangers, where they're not going to release every single Alien Ranger individually. I can easily see them doing this as a 5-pack, where they release like Delphine and Sestro, but then you get the other 3 in this pack. I can see that happen. So that's the short answer to that. I mean, I would love a Hyperforce 5-pack, but I don't know if that's. I would love that to happen, but I think that Hyperforce has a good chance of getting released individually. Actually, let's move on to our next question.
I think this is the last one.
Well, we have 2 more.
We have 5 and 4. Yeah. So this one is when is Beast Morphers coming back in the U.S. and can you tell us anything about Dino Fury?
Well, Jesser, let's go to the other question first. There's the Art Deco question first. How do you plan to address the deco and paint quality control in the future? I think this question is custom made for you, Corey.
I already
wait. Before you get into that, I want to get to their answer. Some techniques and processes still need more refinement. That's their answer to this. What's your answer, Corey?
Like I said, I already kind of went into my piece about this. Someone there is just not doing their job, and they got released, and now someone's there to make sure shit is right going forward. That's basically what they're saying.
Yeah. Jezzer, you have anything to add to that? I don't disagree with Corey on this one.
How do you plan on addressing the deco and paint quality control? This is what they wanted to say. They wanted to say, we don't care. You guys are paying for a $20 figure. We don't care. To some point, you're not even buying half of the wave. We're putting in the quality that you're giving us. So you're paying us $20 for a figure. We're gonna give you $20 worth of this mass-produced figure. Yeah, that's all they're saying. I know you're shaking your head, Corey, over there, but it's true. It's
not when other figures look better.
No.
So it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense.
Which one do you... You were talking about this before. You said...
Yeah.
I think the real answer is this. My opinion of this answer is, how do you address the deco and paint quality control in the future? This is what I think they wanted to say. The way we address it is by you buying more toys so we could get a bigger budget to make sure that we get all the paint and Art Deco right.
See? That's it. It all comes down to you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. That's what it comes down to. You guys aren't putting in the money for it, then why are we putting maximum effort on it? And Corey, you're gonna keep shaking your head.
On the flip side of that though, Jezzer, I feel like as fans we should be saying, well, if you're not gonna put in effort to make me want to buy these, then why should I buy them? So I feel like Hasbro needs to work harder at getting like they already have us on for these Lightning Collection figures. But to keep this line successful, they just got to do better. Like, I wish that they would have released. I'm not a Zord guy, but I know a lot of fans that are. I wish that they would have released something about some of these Zords that we know that are coming out.
Yeah, they should have.
Like, let's talk about this last question, and then I think we could probably wrap it up. But the last question is, when is Beast Morphers coming back in the U.S.? And can you tell us anything about Dino Fury? I love the fact that they put U.S. in there. Because it was like, we have to address that, like, most of you have already seen this, kind of. So we know when Beast Morphers is coming back. The answer is Beast Morphers new episodes is back next month in the U.S. Dino Fury answer was stay tuned. How do you guys want to answer this?
Beast like, the thing that I don't get is they took the time to, I mean, it probably doesn't take much time to do this, but they took the time to create these little cards for each of these questions. Which means that they screened the questions, and which means that they had to come up with an answer pre live stream. And with all of these questions, all of their answers were terrible, except for one of them, which is straightforward. They just kept dancing around with it. With this one, I think they totally just like blew over this question. They didn't really want to answer it. We all knew that it was coming back in September. You can see that on Wikipedia. And as far as the Dino Fury question that Dino Fury answer that they gave, pretty much what their answer means, we don't know. Well, we'll see if we'll tell you when we figure it out.
Well, I actually think they do have an answer to that. I think that both of these were the final question for a very specific reason. They needed you to remember that Beast Morphers hasn't aired in the U.S. yet, and most of you have seen it. So just give it some support while it airs in the U.S. I think that's number one. Number two, the reason why they teased Dino Fury, and this is really suspect timing. I think that they teased Dino Fury a little bit for a couple of reasons. One, to let you know that Dino Fury is still happening. And look, let's be honest. A lot of these questions, some of these questions fans absolutely did want answered, but there's not a lot of hardball questions in here. Like one of these, I almost feel like we should have created one of these cards that said question. How come you haven't talked about toys splitting from Hasbro? Like, they're not going to obviously address that in this, but this Dino Fury question, just stay tuned. That's a very suspect answer because literally the day before this, Variety broke the story when they talked to Simon Bennett about how they're going to go back and shoot in October. Now, there's a little bit more to this, too, that it seems like the casting, at the very least, they know who they want to cast. I think the casting for this is actually done. It's complete. And one thing that they're not saying, maybe they haven't figured it out yet, is that if they haven't gotten the people that they wanted from the United States, I think they're casting the whole thing in New Zealand. Now, here comes a little caveat to this, is that, yes, they announced that they are going to start shooting in October, according to Variety. With that being said, there are 4 new cases of COVID in New Zealand now. So now they're having to deal with that all over again in New Zealand. So this is putting a whole new wrench into the plan. Yes, plans are to shoot in October, but I do think this is going to be something that we've seen in the past, an all-foreign cast for Power Rangers. We'll see. That's a rumor that I'm hearing right now, so we'll see more as this plays out. But that is the casting update we have in Dino Fury. Anybody that essentially hasn't gotten a call back for this, I don't think you're going to at this point, because I think they've moved on to another direction.
I think from that Variety article, they already cast the people. They're already working with them, getting them prepped for filming and casting out. Like if for sure that they cast an all New Zealand cast already, it makes perfect sense in the on the quarantine side, as far as like how Hasbro is working with the New Zealand government and like how the film production, bringing in newcomers from the States to start filming there, shakes things up a little bit for New Zealand. And it's kind of like the way that they're running the NBA right now with the bubble, where nobody can leave or come in or leave without full being quarantined, or you can't leave for no reason. So it's like they're off on in a different country on tour or something. And I think casting people from New Zealand already like prove, or it already like guarantees that there's a low chance that they're spreading anything.
I mean, also simply for the fact that we are taking this from Ryu Soldier, having knights and dinosaurs kind of being the motif here, I think that having a New Zealand accent could play into that knight aspect if that's the direction they choose to go. We don't know the story quite yet, but it can work for this season. So who knows? I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with Dino Fury, but it's going to be very interesting going forward. I think that a lot of fans are, it's going to be a lot of interesting moves to come in the franchise for the next couple of months. Before we wrap out, again, I will say that for all of you guys in the chat, are you guys busy from September 4th to the 6th, the days that Power Morphicon was supposed to be? I'm very curious, because just keep that date open just in case you're a Power Ranger fan. I think we could do some cool things there. Let's see. Joe, Simon Bennett said in the Variety article, said that they have 6 U.S. Americans that borders for New Zealand for Power Rangers.
I don't know if I read that.
I don't think I read that in the article either, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, if you want to win a Lightning Collection action figure, comment on this video. Not in the chat here, but when this video is done, comment on the video.
Well, actually, I kind of wanted them to comment before the stream, man, so we could announce it on the stream, but no one was listening.
Are you allowed to? I guess you can comment, huh? You can comment on videos.
Yeah, you can. I just did with the Illuminerdi account.
So comment on the video if you're a long time watcher here. Comment on the video to get yourself a Lightning Collection action
Well,
figure.
now it looks like we're gonna have to let you guys announce it on Retro to figure it out because no one was listening. No one listened, and I put it in the live chat multiple times, but no one listened. So
he did put it in live chat multiple times. Yeah, so that's gonna be that. But also one thing too, if you're a Power Ranger cosplayer, shoot us, give us pictures of you in your Power Ranger cosplay with your social media tags, your Instagram and Twitter tags, and also we'd love to have videos of you guys. Send them in to us at media@theilluminerdi.com. All we want from you guys here in the fan base in Ranger Nation is talking to us about why you love Power Rangers. That is it. Why do you love Power Rangers? And that is all we want to know. So if you guys want to send in your videos, send them into media@theilluminerdi.com. Yes, we are going to have some cool news coming. Like next week, we'll have some fun news coming next week. Something that we're working on for everybody. But keep those dates open, September 4th to the 6th. I mean, we could be doing something fun for you guys. Is that pretty much it, Jezzer?
Yep. So comment on this video so you guys have a chance to win the 1K giveaway, and I'll have Josh and Daniel announce it on Retro.
Yeah, comment on this video. Let me see. I'm trying to refresh the video right now to see if there's any comments on it for you.
There is none.
There's not?
There is none.
I feel like I should comment and just have you send me a Lightning Collection action figure. Yeah, that's going to be it, guys. I think this episode was a lot of fun. Fan First Friday may not have went down the way we expected it to, but that's okay. There's hopefully going to be a lot more.
For the limit to the video, 15 seconds would be great.
Yeah, the shorter the better. Anything shorter, the shorter the better.
Blackwing, we don't need your whole biography on all 28 seasons of Power Rangers.
Yeah, the shorter the better. But anyway, September 4th to the 6th, if you guys were planning on going to Morphicon, we'd love to have you come and hang out with us. We have something special going on. That would be a lot of fun if you guys were to send in videos and be a part of what we're going to do. But that's going to be it, guys. Where can everybody find you on social media?
Corey.
C. Gibson Rex, Twitter, and Instagram.
You can find me on all social media at Jezzer Zeus. I might be going live on Twitch today and playing some Fall Guys. Have you heard of that game?
Yeah, Josh plays it all the time.
Fall Guys is amazing. It's so much fun. I don't know if there's crossplay.
Oh yeah, that's what I forgot to say. So I'm super into online Uno. I've been playing it on my phone like 24/7. So if you're an Uno fan, you want to get a game going, I am down. I have my little code. I'll put it in somewhere.
Wait,
if you want to reach out.
I have it on PlayStation 4. If you give me your code, maybe I can play. We can play some Uno.
I will destroy you. It's rare that I don't come in first or second place.
Are you tired? Are we boring you, Corey? I saw that yawn.
No, I'm hungry. I get drowsy when I'm hungry.
You get drowsy when you're hungry. Oh, poor Corey. Anyway, if you guys are fans of Star Trek, sci-fi in general, join us on Star Trek. It's going to be coming on at 2:00 today.
Yeah.
Me and John are going to be taking you on a ride through Star Trek Enterprise. It's a great time to jump on. This is a great episode. If you haven't seen the show, just come and watch and support. Put it on in the background. Have a little fun with us. We're doing things that are really cool for you guys. Donnie Pearson, he comes in every single week. I know Bryce is coming in for Star Trek. Bryce actually has a segment this week on our Star Trek show. Yeah. So come in and show your support. If you're down for Uno, reach out to me on Twitter. Use my Twitter. No joke. Use my Twitter. Reach out to me on Twitter and tell me you're into Uno.
I know Josh is also creating a Discord soon, so.
Yeah, Discord's going to be up very soon. And oh man, now it gives me more incentive because we will get big ass Uno games in there, and I will keep you guys entertained. I'll be the Uno champion, and we'll make this a new live stream. Uno championships going forward. It's a great social distancing game, guys. But anyway, Star Trek. Please join us at 2:00. We would greatly appreciate you supporting that show and all the shows we have here at the Illuminerdi. Tomorrow, if you're a fan of Power Rangers in space, catch
Lost Galaxy.
Yeah, did I say in space? Lost Galaxy. Check out Daniel and Josh talking Power Rangers Lost Galaxy. Also, wrestling fans, Jay, Nate, and Pump are going to be delivering the latest wrestling news for you. And again, next week we have some decent announcements. And we have some cool exclusives coming up next week too. So stay here on the Illuminerdi for our channel. And look at that Illuminerdi merch that Jezzer's wearing. I don't even know how Jezzer got that. But are fans able to get that?
I'm working on it.
It's pretty cool, actually. It's a pretty cool jacket. But yes, I can't wait for some of the news we have. But look, subscribe to us, mainly because we do drop news at some of the most random times, because that's the way that news works. I can tell you right now, I can tease a little bit of news. We have some stuff coming up for Game of Thrones. And if you're a DC fan, we got some stuff coming up for you. But guys, join us in just an hour. It's Star Trek. We're doing the Riker maneuver. Josh, myself, Bryce will be in there. Again, who? Eric Berry. Yes, Eric Berry from Ranger Command Power Hour will be in there with us too.
The email.
The email is media@theilluminerdi.com. I believe, I want to say that it's in the description of this video. Maybe not. I could have swore that
I don't think so. Yeah, I can put it in there.
Yeah. It's all good. It's media@theilluminerdi.com. Just send your videos our way over there. But and also, last but not least, if you guys want to join the Illuminerdi, whether it be as a writer or even working with our social media team, being a community leader, we are more than happy to have you guys come and join us on the Illuminerdi, because we are doing some fun things over here. Some of you guys that are in this chat right now are a part of that team exclusively. We got Larry Newbill. He's a part of that team. He's one of our mods here, and he's going to be joining our social media team. And also Bryce is one of our head writers now. And we got John Gatewood, who's killing it. His writing has been killing it lately. So if you guys want to join the Illuminerdi, that's that email to hit us up at media@theilluminerdi.com, or reach out to us on Twitter. Send us a DM, _Illuminerdi. But that's going to do it for us, guys. It's enough plugging everything. Thank you guys so much for spending your Saturday with us. Corey Jezer, thank you for your time as well. And thank you, Jezer, for making the show always look great and stepping up our game. I truly appreciate it.
And remember, you guys, comment on this video so you have a chance to win. If you don't comment, the winner is going to be the Illuminerdi.
All right, guys. Until next time, until next week, we shall see you very soon.